So, you just give off the impression you want to murder everyone you look at is based off of a writing prompt, actually. So, I was searching, found a bunch of writing prompts, and this is part of my Insanity series that I have on AO3. I hope you enjoy it, and let's get on with the story. You just give off the impression you want to murder everyone you look at. Keith sat at the table in the cafeteria. He was on the Atlas. The rest of the paladins were busy. He glanced up, only to see someone deliberately walking several feet away from their destination in order to go around and avoid walking by him. He glanced down at his food, finding he wasn't that hungry anymore. He was surprised when he heard Pidge's voice in front of him. "What's wrong with you? You look like I do when someone ticks me off." He looked up. "Oh, Pidge, I thought you were busy. I'm fine." Pidge raised an eyebrow. "You thought I wasn't going to take a break and eat my boyfriend's amazing food? You must be nuts. Also, you're not fine." Just then, Hunk joined them, sitting down across from Keith. "Yeah, dude, you weren't fine. I was pulled out of the kitchen to talk to you." Keith sighed. "I just don't get why people are avoiding me." Hunk sighed. "I'm sure they aren't avoiding you specifically." Pidge tilted her head from side to side. "Well, I wouldn't say that." Keith sighed. "So they are avoiding me." Hunk leaned forward. "It isn't 'cause they don't like you." Pidge gave a nod of agreement. "You just give off the impression you want to murder everyone you look at." At that moment, as if the universe truly had something against Keith, Lance sauntered over. "Are we talking about how Keith is scaring everyone in the cafeteria? I just talked to this really sweet lady that said she felt bad for Keith because he looked miserable." Keith huffed and moved to stand. "I'm leaving." He was promptly stopped by a metal hand on his shoulder. "What are you doing? It looks like you haven't eaten anything on your plate." Keith looked back to find Shiro's gray eyes staring him down. "Shiro, I'm fine. I'm just not that hungry. I ate a little. I'll be fine." With that, he shrugged off Shiro's hand and walked away. The others looked at each other, their concern evident. Keith walked down a long hallway, Cosmo at his side. He knew he had been rather abrupt when leaving the cafeteria, but he just didn't want to deal with their pity. They knew he didn't enjoy being alone, so he could only assume they would pity him. He was currently on his way to apologize to them. It was team bonding time. He approached the door, the team's voices coming through it. Hunk's voice was determined as he spoke. We need to make people understand that he was just feeling lonely. There were murmurs of agreement, and Lance's voice cut into the silence that followed. "I know, we'll throw a party for him." Keith gave a small smile at Lance and Hunk's comments. They had become his family. He was glad they had his back. Keith woke to Cosmo sitting right on his chest, and Shiro chuckling in the background. He groaned, "What are you doing here?" Shiro gently shoved Cosmo off Keith. "I was sent to retrieve you for a very important meeting that everyone forgot we had to have." Keith's eyes narrowed. Something was off. "I don't trust you. What is going on?" Shiro just smiled. "A very important meeting. Now get your lazy rear end up and get going." Keith glared at Shiro. Fine, I'll get up. I still don't trust you, so I'm bringing my knife." Shiro sighed. Fine, you can bring your knife. I'm sure the people we are meeting will understand." Once Keith was changed in his uniform, they headed out. The walk was silent, and they were heading on to one of the large meeting rooms, so Keith began to relax. He immediately regretted it when he walked into the room, only to have people jump out and shout, "Surprise!" with balloons and a banner. The only thing harmed by his knife was a balloon, and Shiro wrapped an arm around his shoulder. "See? This isn't so bad, right, brother?" Keith glowered at him. "I knew I never should have trusted you. You were acting suspiciously. I suspect that was because you know I hate surprises. Am I wrong?" Shiro nodded. "Yep, I'm sorry, but I don't want to turn into that balloon you stabbed." Keith sighed. "There was only one time that I've almost stabbed you, when you have thrown me a surprise." Shiro nodded. "Yeah, I don't want to repeat that." Keith sighed and smiled at the man that was like a brother. "Thank you, Shiro." He turned to the group. "Thank you all. Though I am curious about the purpose of the party." Pidge smiled. "We're just making sure the bravest man we know knows he isn't alone and we love him like family." Keith smiled at them. "Thanks, guys." As the party went on, he found he couldn't have been happier with who he had ended up with on that lion so long ago. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you in the next video.